evening. Are we working now? We're working now. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Cowbridge leg of my incredibly short world tour. 4 more dates, hopefully. How are we all doing? We good? Did you like the walk-on music? It was either that or Mysterious Girl. Always good for a cheap laugh, that one. Before I get started, I want to say a big thanks to these guys, Carl and Reese. They do a great job. Absolutely brilliant, guys. Although my life will be complete when Carl comes out and opens up with an acoustic version of Smack My Bitch Up. I've been waiting my life for that. So, to get started, introduce myself. My name's Abi Myles, the world's premier female meatloaf impersonator. True. They did ask me to do a few songs tonight. But I won't do that. It goes downhill from there, don't worry. So I was brought up on the mean streets of Lantford Major. A funny old place to grow up. You had all you Cowbridge types looking down on us like scum. Deserved, to be fair. And everyone else thought we were either posh or English. I don't quite know which was more insulting, if I'm honest. And growing up in the 80s was a bit weird. We had those strong male role models, Prince, Freddie Mercury, Boy George. And it didn't help. My father was a pantomime dame, and my mum used to try clothes on me like a tailor's dummy. Luckily, I escaped all of that pretty much unscathed with no lasting effects, no noticeable issues whatsoever. Yeah, about that. So the more observant amongst you might be sat there thinking Susan Boyle needs to cut down on the cigarettes. So I'd like to clear up a few things before I start. So firstly, this isn't my natural hair colour. Sorry. Also, I'm not trying out to be the world's least glamorous drag queen, and this isn't my comedy sort of gimmick. It's a lot of effort to go through for a few laughs. So I am, in fact, transgender. I wait there, because sometimes I get a big cheer. Someone laughed. Isn't that inconceivable? I know I hide it well. So yeah, it's been quite challenging for me, especially having to come out to loads of different people and say the same story time and time again. Now I stand in front of strangers and tell the same jokes time and time again. Yeah, to save time on it, I actually published my life story last year. I figured if anyone was interested, I might as well get a tenner a time for it. So I did do a book signing recently in Waterstones. I managed to write I Hate You on 6 Harry Potter books before they threw me out. Banned for life. So yeah, conversations have gotten weird for me now. In the last 18 months, I've learned more about hair and makeup than I ever thought possible. One day I might put some of it into practice, you never know. And being of a certain age hasn't helped. Like most of my friends, I'm on HRT, but the problem is they're all going through menopause. I'm going through puberty. As if I wasn't annoying enough already. It's not good. And this is the same bit I got stuck on last time, you know. Just if you're noting it down. And it's not as fun as it sounds, though. I can go from horny teenager to evil hell bitch in the time it takes to eat a tub of Ben and Jerry's. And yes, I've eaten a few of them in my time. This is the body that Ozempic forgot. I do have the body of an athlete under the patio. So yeah, I grew up in the 80s, so I'm part of that wonderful group of Generation X. Have we got any 80s kids in tonight? Yes, the best generation. They're great. We were basically born dead inside. emotion-free, cynical, and hating everyone around us. That sounds a lot like my Tinder profile, if I'm honest with you. But one great thing being in that generation was actual real-life dating. None of this online nonsense. And it's a dying art now, isn't it? You know, you can't just stumble into a pub, have a few pints, meet the person of your dreams, and after a drunken fumble, get stuck with them for the rest of your life. You know, and we're losing so much with it. And the fine art of the chat-up line, I miss that. They were great. And at this point, I had it all carefully planned out and then realized the layout and the lead for the mic wouldn't allow me to do what I wanted. So I'm going to use Carl and just terrorize him for a moment. Because I get nostalgic about the old chat-up lines. So I just want to share a few of my absolute favorites with you tonight. Right?
Yeah.
How you doing? You good?
G'day.
I'm no Fred Flintstone, but I can make your bed rock.
Do you want a drink? No.
Oh,
you're not a...
Is that a ladder in your tights? Or a stairway to heaven?
Keep them coming, mate. Keep them coming.
Do you come here often?
Yeah, once a month.
Would you like to? No, sorry. I had to indulge myself on those because even if you don't, I find them hilarious. And I miss them. But nowadays, pubs have taken a back seat to coffee shops, haven't they? And you go into any of the big caffeine emporiums now, and they're full of kids sat there on various devices, ignoring each other. And I walked into one the other day, and there was this middle-aged guy there, just on his own, no phone, no laptop. He just sat there, drinking coffee, like a psychopath. So that's the other thing with kids now, is they can't seem to do anything without an online tutorial. And so I'm just catching someone's eye a moment. Can't do anything without an online tutorial, and it got me thinking about a certain situation, and I'm going to share that with you. I'm going to invite you all to picture the scene. Young boy, young girl in love. Gentlemen, thank me later, this will work. So young boy and the young girl in love. They've been seeing each other a while, and they think we're ready to take that next step and have our first special moment. So they set the scene. The Marvin Gaye is playing in the background. The lights are low, the candles are lit. The Tesco Value Prosecco is in a bucket in the corner. They start getting closer. Things start getting a little bit hot and heavy, so they move the action upstairs. She lies on the bed, ready. He grabs his phone and nips off to the bathroom to check something. So he pulls up the artistic adult website of his choosing and sits there and scrolls through and gets a few tips. So he's got it. 10 minutes later, back to the bedroom, and there she is on the bed, fast asleep, totally unsatisfied, by him at least. So he gets his jacket and goes home and spends the next few days apologetically texting and groveling, and they decide, right, we'll give this another go. So the scene is set again. Look at this. He's like silky smooth tonight on this. So the scene is set once more. She sits there and waits for the knock on the door. And he hasn't been idle this week. He's been sat there, hours spent browsing the artistic adult websites. He knows the tricks. He knows the score. So he gets to the house. He knocks on the door. She answers the door. And there he is, stood there in a pair of overalls with a toolkit in hand. And he says, "Hello, love. I've come to fix your boiler." That's one of the best reactions I've had. I can usually gauge how many people watched the same special films I did growing up. most of you tonight. I'm well impressed. So I did actually get offered years ago my big acting break in the adult artistic film industry. I was quite excited about it. I thought, yes, this is me made for life now. Imagine my disappointment when I turned up and they told me I was cast as the husband who leaves for work. So I've had a lot of jobs over the years, and nowadays I'm trying to pursue fame and fortune by doing comedy and writing. Two things guaranteed to never make you any money. They didn't tell you that in school. And now I work in an office most of the time, and it's really difficult because people have got wind of this now, and they're like, oh, you're doing comedy. And this guy came up to me the other day. He said, Ab, you're doing comedy now, aren't you? I said, yeah. He said, oh, I've got a great joke for you. So here we go. So he told me the absolute joke from hell. And at the end of it, he said, you can use that if you want. Thanks. So a few days later, I was in work, I saw him. Before he could say anything to me, I said, Jeff, you're a cleaner, aren't you? I said, here's one for you. Go into the bathroom, change the toilet paper. You can use that if you want. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea how long that was, but I think I've pretty much done.
12.
Oh my God, that's streamlined. Brilliant. Well, no, I'm going to give you a few minutes back, but before I go, I've got this annoying habit of finishing on a really terrible and mildly offensive joke. So tonight, just for you special people of Cowbridge, not yet. Just keep it paused. So quick joke to finish. No apologies for any offence caused. So Jesus Christ walks into a hotel, puts 3 nails on the counter and says, can you put me up for the night? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.